Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for sticking through to day 4, Veda day 4. Before we get started with today's story time, I want to do a bit of housekeeping. I've noticed there's a few things that I get asked a lot on my videos. For one of the major things that I get asked quite a bit is what lipstick do you have on? Today I have MAC lip liner in Plum, and then in the middle I put this MAC matte lipstick in the color Taupe. So those are the two that I have. The second thing I wanted to talk about is some people said that they can't really see when I put up a new video. If you see down in the description box, there should be an icon like this. And if you click that, you'll get notifications every time I put up a video, because the times will range depending on what my work schedule looks like for the day. So I can't tell you they'll be up at a specific time, but they'll be up within that day. So if you click that notifications icon, you'll get notified when I put up a video. Alright, so let's get straight to the story. I'm gonna give a disclaimer. This is a story time of something that did happen to me within 2017. So it's a bit fresh, but I mean, let's just share the story. Why not? We're here to share stories, right? I wouldn't say that this is the worst date I've ever been on. It's just one of the more interesting, for lack of a better word. There's this guy who I will not name. We'll just leave him at this guy. So this guy, and I met him through another friend. I'm not gonna say like we hit it off, it was sparks, it was what. It wasn't anything like that. It was just really cash. Met this guy, we exchanged numbers, we were friends, we were chatting. Just, you know, the usual stories. If you know Nairobi, you know that we have a lot of festivals that happen. We have a lot of food festivals in particular. So towards the beginning of the year, there was a food festival that was happening, and he texted me. We actually were texting, and he was like, oh, why don't we go and check out this festival together and see this one particular restaurant and see what kind of food they offer. And it's a restaurant that I had never been to. So I was like, yo, that's actually quite dope. I would love to do that. That's cool. Now mind you, at this point I wouldn't say this is a date at all. This is just friends going to check out an event that's happening. I don't think it was in any way like romantic or romanticized on both of our ends. I don't think it was anything like that. We agree to go on the Saturday, so it was during the week, and we agreed to go on that Saturday. He wanted to meet at like 12:30, around 1 o'clock, but I had another event at 3, so I was like, can we meet at 12, because I have to be somewhere at 3 and I have to be there at 3, not be leaving where I am at 3. And this was like across the other side of town. So I was like, can we meet at 12 so I can make it for my other thing at 3? He was like, yeah, sure, perfect, like that works, not a problem. Saturday rolls round, you know, your girl's looking good, looking fly. So we agree to meet at 12. And then he pushes it to 12:15 because he's running a bit late. I was like, easy, it's cool. And then once I'm at the restaurant, he's like, can we push it to 12:30? And I was like, all right, like 12 to 12:30 is not that big of a difference. I'm the type of person who I don't mind being at a restaurant by myself. I can do that quite easily. Go and just sit with a newspaper and people watch and all this stuff. So I wasn't really like fussed. And also, you know, it wasn't a date, and he was running late over something that was out of his control. So I was just like, whatever, let me just try the food and whatever it might be. 12:30 comes, 12:45, 1:15, 1:30, 1:45, and literally no sign of this guy. When I tell you, like, zero, no sign of this guy. So I decided to order, because at the end of the day we were coming to the restaurant to check out the menu, you know. So I was like, let me at least, I mean, I'm here, I've already ordered my starter, I might as well order the rest of the food and you know, just see what it's like, so at least I know, because I probably won't be back on that side of town soon. At this point it's like 2:15, 2:20, and I need to be across town at another event, and I also needed to go and pick up something before I got there. So I was like, yo, like, I'm good, I've eaten, I've seen the restaurant, and I mean, it's unfortunate that he wasn't there, but as me, we're good. So I decide I'm gonna leave, and just as I'm about to leave, my phone rings. Like, his name, you thought I was gonna say his name, didn't you? His name comes up on my phone, and I'm like, this nigga. Anyway, so I pick up the phone, and he's actually really apologetic. He's like, yo, I didn't realize it was gonna take this long. So we left it at that. He apologized. He really did apologize, and I did accept it, and we're good, and we're actually genuinely good. No fake feelings or whatever it might be. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, we've been chatting not really too intently, not really too deeply. And then at some point, I think it was like a Wednesday or something, he sends me a message, hey, can I make it up to you? Like, can I make that other scenario, can I make it up to you this weekend? And I was like, easy, like, you know, it's cool, I could eat. So I was like, so what did you have in mind? And he's like, oh, I made a reservation at this restaurant, and the restaurant that he made a reservation at is actually one of my favorite restaurants. So I was in there like swimwear, like let's go eat. He's like, let's meet on Saturday at lunchtime. And I was like, all right, okay, I don't know if Saturday lunchtime is really our thing. Lunchtimes are like a bit tricky. How about we meet at dinner, because we can have the whole day to do other things and then meet at dinner time. This one kind of felt a bit more like a date. Like, it was a bit more date vibey than the first one, because he was like, I've made reservations and all this stuff and yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, okay, like he's actually like, you know, putting effort and being serious about it and whatever it might be. He wanted to meet at 6. And I was like, no, like 6 o'clock is a bit early. Like, I know myself, if I eat at 6, by 11, I'll be out here like, what's good? Like, what can we eat? So we decided that we're gonna meet at 7. 7 comes and I'm at the restaurant. I was actually there at like 7:15, to be honest, because I was like, no, I'm not gonna be on time. I'm gonna be a bit late, da 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 da. So I come in and I go to like the main reception area, and I was like, oh, there's a reservation under his name. And she's like, yes, 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 he called, he reserved, let me show you to your table. So I'm there like, oh, progress, you know? 7:30, 7:45, 8, 8:15, 8:30. He shows up at 8:30. I've been sitting there for an hour and a half, sipping this one glass of wine, waiting for him. When I tell you I was mad, like that, like furious is an understatement. So I kind of I was like, what? Like, what? ¿Qué pasa? What? So he comes in and he's like rushing and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm late, like I didn't mean to, you know, da da da. So I was like, like, it's cool, it's fine, don't worry about it, just, you know, it's great. And he's trying to explain to me why he's late, and I'm listening, but I'm also like not listening. But he's like, I was at a barbecue nearby, like close to where we are. What? You're at a barbecue? You mean you had a date that you planned and you went to a barbecue? What? We order food and conversation is not bad. It's just chill. It's like, whatever, it's cool. But I'm just like, I'm not there. Like, I already clocked out. It comes time to go home. He decides to walk me to my car. So where we're parked, there was a parking that was like up and there was a parking that was down, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go home, like, you know, go to my car, whatever. He's like, oh, I'll walk you to the car. I was like, cool, that's fine, let's go. He's still apologizing, like he's actually still being like really sorry about it. And I was like, all right, like I get it, you're sorry, but it's just like, you know, that when someone tells you sorry, you accept it, but you're really just like, yeah, okay, like you're forgiven, but you know, sidestep. We get to my car and he's like, I hope you had a good night, da da da. He's like, oh, what are you up to? I was like, I'm just go home and go chill. So I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm gonna go back to that barbecue. If you wanted to be elsewhere, be elsewhere. Like, this is not a time slot that you just like, you're at a barbecue and you're like, oh, let me just quickly dash out and like meet this babe and then go back to the barbecue. And I was like, what do you, like, why did you plan this on this day if you knew you had plans or whatever it might be? Now this for me was like the funniest part. He comes in for the hug and I was like, oh, all right, like, oh, okay, right. We're doing this is what we're doing, all right. So going to hug him, and I kid you not, as I'm hugging him, he tries to kiss me. I literally swung so fast away from his direction that he ended up kissing like my neck, like this part of my neck, my cheek, like this part of my face basically. And he's just like, oh, I hope to see you soon. And I was like, Sway, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So then he goes to where he's going and I like get in my car and like lock the doors. I sit there for like 2 minutes like, what just happened? Honestly, truly, what just happened? And that's pretty much like it. That is one of the most interesting dates that I've been on. Let me know what's your best date or what was your worst date. I would love to hear some of your stories, so leave them in the comments part below. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to click the notifications, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye. He stood me up. He stood me up. Yeah, and that's shut up.